Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with atbbq.com, and today on Tips and Techniques, we're going to talk about how to cook low and slow on a Kamado style grill. Well, this is going to be a little Kamado 101 for any of you out there that are getting started or want to get started in cooking on a Kamado style ceramic charcoal grill like the Big Green Egg or the Kamado Joe. Now we're going to walk through the process from building the coal bed to stabilizing the temperature, getting that smoked meat into your food. The basic building blocks, the fundamentals that you need to get started on smoking your favorite barbecue meats. We're going to demonstrate this process on the Kamado Joe Classic III, pretty standard sized Kamado grill. And before we get our coal bed going, I want to show you a couple different possibilities for setting up for this indirect grilling or smoking. So we've got this grill emptied out, our charcoal basket down here in the bottom, and inserting the Kamado Joe divide and conquer system. And this is gonna allow you kind of to do the classic setup for any Kamado style grill, which is to place these little place settings down in the bottom. And these kind of create your indirect heat. So your fire would be underneath here. You go ahead and put your grill grates. In this case, you could go lower or higher. Smoking, we're typically going to go as high as possible. And just a quick note about that divide and conquer system. While that is a Kamado Joe product, it also fits in a Big Green Egg, a large size for the Classic. Corresponding sizes will work in different grills. Now for the next setup, we're going to be putting in the Kamado Joe SlōRoller. This is kind of a new improvement that they've made on their smoking technique, where it uses hyperbolic technology with this little plate right here where the smoke comes out and rolls around the food. So this gives you a really even smoking experience as far as the heat and smoke distribution goes, but also still that indirect setup. You got your food further away from the fire, so you get a low and slow experience. Now let's go ahead and get some coal in here. Now the most important thing when you're getting started with building your coal bed is just starting with some nice good sized lump charcoal. And you gotta make sure you have airflow. So I take the largest pieces, put them down in here first. And I'm pretty much never going to cover the entire surface of the firebox. I need air moving through here at all times. So a lot of times I like to think of this as a crescent, where I'm gonna have charcoal in this area and an open area here for the air to flow through. Now as you start to get to smaller pieces of charcoal, you can kind of just throw them in there to fill in the gaps. Now because this machine is so efficient, it doesn't actually take a ton of charcoal for you to run a low and slow cook for a long period of time. So at this point we're ready to get our fire starters in here. Just kind of nestle those in between some pieces of charcoal. And then I'm just gonna let this go completely open, lid open, for probably about 5 minutes before we start closing things down, just to let things get started. So now that we've got a little head start on this, I'm going to close this up so that we can adjust the airflow and start to let this coal bed fill out. But for now, we're going to open this all the way up, on top and bottom. All right, this has been rolling about 10-15 minutes now. You can see how that coal bed is really taking off. Now before that goes too crazy, I want to go ahead and get our SlōRoller system in here, the divide and conquer, because we don't want this all to burn out on the low and slow smoke. We need to control the burn rate a little bit, which means we're going to be reducing the amount of oxygen that we feed to these coals. So for now, you can leave your grates in or just wait for a little bit, because we are going to be throwing a little wood in here once we get this temperature stabilized. Now, if we're looking to smoke in the 250 to 275 range, then when we hit 200 to 225 is when we need to start choking down that air to calm down that coal bed just a little bit. So I'm going to swing this shut. I'll open it about to that first mark, and we'll see how that does. Now down below, we're going to close down the bottom to about 25%. We don't want to allow a lot of air in there. We're going to try and control some of that air from the top more so than from the bottom. Cooking on these Kamado grills is all about controlling the airflow. And the way we've always been taught to think about it is down at the bottom you make your big changes, up at the top you make your minor ones. So you're gonna get yourself pretty close, and then you're gonna adjust that top vent to make your little minor adjustments, 25 degrees one way or the other. It's been about 45 minutes since we very first fired this thing up. We've come up to temp stabilized at 275, which was our target. Now, one of the things to really keep in mind when you're trying to get here is make small adjustments and be patient, because if you open something all the way up, you start to really get the airflow going, it's easy to overshoot your target, and you may not realize it. It doesn't happen immediately. There's a lot of heat contained inside of this thing, and I'm talking about in the ceramic as well, so it can take a while to make a little adjustment. You don't want to overshoot it. If anything, come in a little bit low and then bump it up. It's a lot easier to heat this thing up than it is to cool it down. So now we're ready to add some smoke. I'm gonna take the top of the SlōRoller off of here. And then we've got some pecan smoking chunks. And this is a good size, I think, for when we're smoking on a Kamado grill. You really only need 1 or 2. They're gonna burn slowly, which is nice because it'll add wood for that first hour to 2 hours of the cook, and that's really where you need the smoke. I rarely add a bunch of extra wood later in the cook. It's almost always right up front. A couple of chunks will get you a couple of hours, at least 1 hour, and by then you've got all of the smoke you really need on the meat. From then you're just looking for heat. So we can see that that wood is now caught fire. As we close this up and take away some of its oxygen, that fire is gonna snuff out and turn into smoke. Put your grates in place and you're ready to smoke. Now, pretty quickly after closing up the grill, you're gonna notice thin blue smoke coming out the top, and that's exactly what you want. That's a sign that your airflow is on point, and that's key. I've said it a couple of times. The thing you want to avoid at all costs is that thick, puffy white smoke. Puts terrible flavor on your food, and you're only gonna get that if you're really snuffing out the fire or if you've soaked your wood chips. And don't soak your wood chips. Just go ahead and get a bigger chunk of wood. It'll burn slower, it'll burn cleaner. So for a quick recap, when you're doing charcoal selection, big chunks on the bottom, smaller ones on top. Always leave some room for the airflow. And when you're speaking of airflow, you want to open it all the way up once you've closed that lid down, and then 50 degrees before you get to your target temperature. Let's cinch it back down so you don't overshoot. From there, once you've got your smoke in and stabilized once again, it's pretty much set it and forget it. All that's left to do is to get your food on there and to watch it. It's gonna hold pretty well on its own. Very little adjustments. Come back every once in a while, make sure you're in that temperature range that you're looking for, and make the minor adjustments that you need to from there. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out atbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to atbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.